Way to
Hey,
rock it out, man.
nice. Yeah, good morning.
Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Rocking it out. Woo-hoo! Happy Monday.
Happy
You fired up,
Monday.
Michael?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm fired up, especially with
That's some
Papa
good
Roach on the intro. Yeah,
what band was that?
that's Papa Roach.
Papa Roach.
Wow, man. Way to get that's some good workout music. I'm excited. Let's do this, Michael. Let's put it on
Let's
them
do
today.
it. Excellent, excellent. All right, cool. So let me pop on my camera so y'all can see me. There we go. Good morning. Excellent. Okay, cool. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is Mike. I am the head of onboarding and recruiting here at Global Premier Benefits. Just a couple pointers. I'm really kind of behind the scenes on these meetings. There's a lot of stuff that people will chat in, like questions and stuff. You're more than welcome to do that. But I would recommend you mute yourselves unless you're asking a question or if you're answering a question, of course. But nobody wants to hear a dog barking in the background or a phone ringing or this or that side conversation. So make sure your camera is on, your microphone is off. You take a lot of notes because there's going to be some gold nuggets here. I guarantee it. And if you do have questions along the way, then that chat line down below is going to be a good place to get the engagement from everybody in the room, but also make sure you get your question out there. Now, without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to the real MC, not me MC. I'm going to have to come up with a funnier joke than that, but I'm going to pass the mic over to the MC of the day, Mr. Tony Holland.
Hey,
Tony, are you there?
You're the real MC. That could be some kind of like rapper's name. The real MC. It's got to be somebody out that has that name, Michael.
Probably. It ain't me. That's funny.
I'm the real MC, Michael C. There you go. We can put some kind of rap together. I'm gonna write one for you, Michael.
We should do. I've been saying this for years. We should do a Medicare rap. Come up with a music video because nowadays most of those are just nonsense anyway. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. We're going to do that, man. Put some spice to life in Medicare Advantage. I love it. So, guys, welcome. Thank you, Michael. I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate you, Mike. And congratulations. If y'all can do me a congratulations, Michael and Alex's wife are due this Thursday. It's coming.
Thank you. Yep. We'll be here
for daddy.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Going to be a daddy. So, we're really proud of him. Keep them in prayer, guys. But we're really excited about this new venture him and his wife Alex are on. So, Michael, it's amazing. You're coming of age, young man, being a daddy. It's an amazing time, I tell you. Your life will never be the same, man. It's just so anybody on here that knows that day. And I told Michael, you better film it, because I did ours and. Even though you may not watch it right away, but down the road, it comes in handy when they graduate from high school, college. It's just it's an amazing time. So make sure you do film it, bud.
Thank you. I will.
Let's roll into the meeting. So go to the next slide. I just want to go ahead and honor our veterans, our men and women of service to our country. And as you guys know, we're a military family. My son's at West Point. And, he was home for the weekend. It's just amazing, our men and women of service, what they do for us. It's I think sometimes we take a little bit for granted the sacrifices that have been made, and many of them have made the ultimate sacrifice. I just wanted to show our honor to those. I know Friday was Veterans Day, and I just wanted to give a shout out. If y'all can do that for me, please. If you served our country in the military, I just want to say thank you guys for your service. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for going out there and making a difference of veterans every day in what we do. So thank you guys. Thank you. Can we get a woohoo for our veterans? Woohoo!
Woohoo!
All right. Next slide, Michael. Next slide. So today we have someone very special for our meeting. And many of you guys have heard of this young man, Trey Jones. He's a star in the making. He started with us back in June, not that long ago. Hadn't even been 6 months. And he's just shocked the industry, shocked our organization, shocked all of integrity. And I thought it'd be good to have him back. He spoke for us in August. And this young man, he's only been out of high school for 6 years. 6 years ago, this young man was graduating high school. He's a baby. He's one of the youngest team members in our organization in all of integrity. He went, to Memphis for about 2 months before he stopped, and got his insurance license. So he did go do some college. But he got a passion for this business, got his insurance license. He did work for Aflac I know that's a tough, opportunity doing Aflac. And he did that for about a year. He was born and raised in Memphis, lived there his entire life. And I think before the call, he was even talking to Michael about some barbecue, because Memphis does have some good barbecue. If you haven't been to Memphis, you got to try the barbecue. But his dad, Bobby Jones, is his father. Many of you guys have known Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones has been a legend in the business with us, and he brought Trey up in the business. He taught him everything he knows about the business. The knowledge that he needs to be wise about Medicare, the ins and outs of Medicare, how it works, supplements, PDPs, and what's shocking is that this is an amazing opportunity, I believe, for young people, and I guys like Trey and Josh Shin from a week ago, and Derek, who also did a talk. This is a great opportunity for 20-somethings. For many, many years, I was always pushing 40, 50, 60. You figure the older you are, the more you can relate to the seniors, and that's not so true. The 20-somethings are doing an incredible job, as we've seen lately with Derek and Josh and now Trey. So, as in Trey's own words, he's learning much better by doing the work. It's like, this is what I've told people many times, and Trey said it best. You learn this business by doing this business. He says that he wants to get as many reps as possible. Win or lose, he's out there seeing people. To get repetition is the mother of mastery. So he also worked in a call center in Memphis before he joined us for about a year. He was doing about 100 cold calls, or whatever calls per day. I don't know if they're cold calls or not, but 100 calls a day, learning as he went about Medicare Advantage and from the people around me. So yeah, it was 100 calls a day, not cold calls, but 100 calls a day, talking to seniors, because that's how we got his repetition down. What keeps him motivated, by the way, and gets him up every day, especially during AEP, is his beautiful wife and his daughter. And that's what I've told people for years. You got to have something bigger than yourself that you're working for. And he's got an obvious big why, his wife and his daughter. He wants to provide them with the best life possible and give them every opportunity that they deserve in life. And so they don't ever have to worry about money. And that's the big reason why a lot of people get in this business. When I'm recruiting, Michael and I've been doing a lot of recruiting lately, it's just getting that financial freedom. Yes, there's a price to pay for it. I mean, just tell you, you have to pay that price. It doesn't come easy, but the short-term pain will lead to a large, huge, long-term gain. And that's what Trey's focused on. So I want to go ahead and turn the mic over to an amazing young man, Trey Jones. Has crushed it. He just started with us in June. He's 25 years old. I mean, we got kids his age on this call. My son's 21. His production as AEP, he's already got over 150 personal sales and a shocking 309 sales through his agency. And he's number one in the country of all. I mean, we have over 2,000 agents. He's number one nationally. I mean, he's competing against some of the best, the Kerry Brandys of the world, the Chauncey Porters of the world, the William Vargases of the world, and David Matthews of the world. He started just 5.5 months ago. He's number one nationally in the organization. Why? Because he leads by example. So I'm going to turn the mic over to a legend in the making. I have no doubt. When I saw Trey down at the Integrity retreat in August with him and Josh and several others, I said, this young man's gonna be somebody special. He's definitely going to be an Integrity partner very soon, because he's got that it factor. So I'm gonna turn the mic over to the amazing, dynamic Trey Jones. Put it on him, Trey.
Good morning, Tony. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. Listen, I know you got a hard stop in the next 20 minutes. But could you shed some light, man? I kind of gave you your opening, but just dive deep into what's the secret sauce of making it happen, man?
Well, I think kind of like, we had talked about this weekend and on Saturday, we were up at the office and you were at yours. I think a lot of people think that, there's a lot of, secrets or a way to coerce people or to talk to more people. I mean, it's just reps. I mean, it's going to work, and especially AEP. I mean, it's just how long you're there working Monday through Saturday, 12 to 14 hours a day, and getting it in. Just like you said, it's a sacrifice for, short term for the long term gain. But honestly, it sounds, simple, but everybody says that, it's just getting up and going to work every single day, especially in this business. I mean, it's consistency. Motivation can be fleeting, but consistency is what's going to kind of save that, every day, knowing you have your appointments to do, following up with your clients. If you take care of them, they take care of you.
So if you can also just go into a little bit deeper in terms of like how your day goes, because I coach up agents all the time. I talk to them what they need to do. Can you explain what a typical day looks like for you, Trey?
Absolutely. I get up at 4:30 and start my day, and we'll go to the gym, and then I get to the office at about 7 o'clock, and then get done the beginning paperwork from yesterday and kind of see where my appointments are for that day. And we'll typically start around 8 o'clock. And we will typically, I think you mentioned last time, one of our big things this year has been advertising with commercials, be it radio, TV, billboards, or, different things like that that we've done with our, with Eric and things like that. We'll start at about 9:30. So we're kind of go from there. And then additionally, I've been lucky enough that we've added on, besides myself and my dad, this AEP, we've got 3 great agents. One that's been with us for a while that Michael and I were talking about, that she started as an admin and then wanted to get over to sales, and she's been great. And we have 2 more. So what we do is, in between appointments, going around and helping them with their own appointments. We've actually had a lot of in-office appointments this year, believe it or not. And we have, we'll go in and help them, walk them through appointments, and still we have a couple people still learning and going through. But as you've seen from the leaderboards, I mean, they're really, really tearing it up, and kind of doing everything that we want to and more. So help them with their appointments, and then just kind of going through and with each of the appointments that we have throughout the day. So, I mean, I will usually be here until about 6:30 or 7, but I try to leave it about 6:30 or 6:45 before my daughter goes to bed, so I can at least be there for that. And that's one of those sacrifices you were talking about earlier, is, not getting as much time with her throughout these weeks through AEP. But like you said, it is a much, much better long-term gain, so that, she's taken care of then. But that is typically a day. I mean, we'll usually be here, my dad and I, until about 7 to 7. And sometimes he's even here later working on, marketing and catching up paperwork and stuff that basically allows me to, do the selling and to help our agents out and to coach them. So, I mean, both of us together, I mean, we're here for 12 to 14 hours a day. So, I mean, that honestly is the kind of day to day. It sounds, it's just, over and over and over again. And it does get to the point, especially starting that on October the 1st and getting everything prepared for that 15th. But it's just, day in, day out of going 12 to 14 hours a day. And I'm lucky enough to have my dad here with me and doing things that, I can't do, or if I'm, don't know about something, I'm able to bounce ideas off of him and both of us, and coaching our new agents, and hopefully have more to expand to next year.
Great. Awesome stuff, Trey. So, I know a big part of why you're so successful is the preparation you've made. And that's something I preach all year long. And unfortunately, fortunately, it does fall on good ground, but unfortunately, it doesn't with some agents. They jump in because they have a misunderstanding of how this works. It's a year-round business, and they've been brainwashed, through misinformation in the industry. Agents start in October 1. Now, where's my leads and what do I do and how to make it happen? I know that's not you. I know that for facts. I know your father. I know Eric Allen. Those are the best in the business that are up to 150 apps, like you and Josh Shin and Josh Youngs, who's well over 200 now. Another, young guy. I call you guys the young guns, making it happen. It's the preparation. But what would you suggest, Trey, to someone that didn't prepare? Okay. Now they're going to have to learn for that next year. Learn that lesson. If you're on this call, this business starts, AEP starts in July, but let's say, Trey, I'm late in the game. I procrastinated, or I joined Global late. What advice would you give them at this moment? I mean, we're November 14th. We got 31 days left at AEP. What would your advice to them about beefing up their activity? What should they do to get in front of enough people?
Well, I think, if you don't have a plan in place right now for where you're going to, get your leads and stuff like that? Well, I think that's, one of the things that being a part of Global, with Integrity as well as that Integrity lead system, and then the leads that we are, lucky enough to get through Zoho. I mean, that's got to be the main focus at that point, because there's really no chance to kind of market and do different things, besides the leads that from Zoho and from that Integrity Lead Center that we all have access to, and making sure that you work every single one of those until they tell you to stop calling. I would say, social media, Facebook, more people than you probably think you do, especially your family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever it may be. I'm saying that as a 24-year-old, but, people that Facebook, people that you may have known, put it out there that you are doing what you're doing, and let them know that you can help advise them and guide them. I think one of the things that I think we talked about in August was, pushing the sales part of this job too much, because, a lot of seniors don't want to be, told exactly what to do. It's more of a advisor role and guiding, because, Medicare, they have to have it. And if you explain Medicare well enough going through original Medicare, you see that there are many gaps in that coverage, and that there's one of two ways that you're able to go, which is a Medicare supplement or an Advantage plan. And so depending on their financial situation, what they want to do, if you guide them through that process, you're going to have a lot better luck than trying to, shove a product down someone's throat. Like ancillary products or, different things like that. Aflac's a great example. I mean, a lot of agents are made up of that there, where it's just, screaming at somebody until they buy something from you. So I think doing that and really, and thing with this business too, is with seniors, is they love to talk. And if you're good to them, they're going to be good to you. They're going to send you people. I think, making sure you follow up with every single one of them. A good practice too with clients that you may have in sales is, following up with them at the end of the year, sending them a letter, thanking them for their business and their time, and that, to keep you in their mind. And that way it kind of keeps you in front of them, so that, someone else can't come behind you and take them away from you. And then when they know somebody else that's struggling, because they all talk about it, all Medicare, especially with the economy the way it is, your name is going to be repeated over and over again. So little things like that, but I would definitely take advantage of the leads that we have access to through you guys, because at this point, especially November, you're going to have a lot of people have already, been called, but a lot of people are procrastinators too. So using those leads, and then social media at our function. I mean, you have a phone at your fingertips that people have never had before. You're able to reach thousands and thousands of people within a span of minutes. So I would take advantage of things like that. And especially next year, what I would start doing that really helped me is that, have a calendar, and people that maybe you can't move or change or help out throughout the year, have them on your follow-up calendar, and make sure that you have all the notes listed in detail, so that way you can give them a call, right before AEP, let them remember who you are, so that they don't forget about you, so somebody else doesn't call them, and then make sure that you have everything written down for them, all the notes, so that way when the new plans come out, like the devoted CSNP plan, I had a bunch of diabetes people written down, ready to go, especially that were on LIS. In our area, all drugs are free in that case. So it's a big benefit that a lot of people can take advantage of, where if you just put a section of notes somewhere, you have all those people you have access to, that you basically already set up and done the work for, and then to become much easier sales to pile on.
Awesome. So walk me through let's break it down into parts, because I think it's important in sales management, sales leadership. I mean, I know a lot of agents told me, the motivation is great, and the why. I understand why we do what we do. We all want to change lives. We all want to save lives. We know there's seniors out there hurting. We want to fix their challenges, but it's overcoming that hurdle. Walk me through, let's start with walking me through how you make the call. Okay. How, the mechanics behind that. Can you help me with that?
Absolutely. Do you want an inbound call, or like someone that set an appointment and came into the office?
You got a lead card. You picked up a lead card either through Integrity or what Eric provides you, or your dad, or through Global. Just a standard generic lead. Walk us through the mechanics when you make the phone call.
Okay, absolutely. I can give you one that actually was slightly warmed. It was in our building. We have an internet service that she had helped us move down here and gave us somebody that actually worked in the building on the bottom floor. And we had given her a call, and she had given permission for us to call and told us to give us a call around this time that she would be off work. And I had called her, and of course we do have the new recordings and everything that we have to do. So or the new scripts and things like that we have to do. So calling her, and she was one that, we do have some people that will prefer to do it over the phone, but then some people that will prefer to come into the office. So calling that person and letting them know who I am, who had sent me over, and that, that they might need some help coming into Medicare this year. This lady is still working, and she is going to be coming on to Medicare for her Part B starting in January. So one of the things that we do a little bit differently, I think, than a lot of people, and it kind of really attaches our clients to us, is we will help them get enrolled into Medicare, because it's not necessarily a super complicated process, but if you've never done it before, especially people that are new to Medicare, they're not really going to know how to do that. So we will either go ahead and do that for them in the office while they're here, and show them. So putting it to mind or putting to ease that we can actually take care of that for them when she came up here. And when I had called, she wanted to come into the office for an appointment. So we ended up setting it up for, I believe, on Friday. So once we had, set up the appointment and come in, I usually get some information from her about what, birthday and things like that. And she wanted to bring up her prescriptions and doctors. So we had done that. And what we usually do is once we have an appointment come in, whether it be on the phone or as an in-office appointment, I will take them, I'll ask them how much they want to know about Medicare, because typically we'll have two types of clients. As my dad likes to say, one wants to know what time it is and the other wants to know how the watch is built. So we'll go through and whether that's going to be, them basically just saying, what do I need? What's the best way for me to be set up, or explain every little part of Medicare to them. So we'll take them on the full explanation, the updated numbers for 2023, since she's aging in January, explain all of A, all of B, what would it look like with a supplement with a drug plan, and what it would look like with an Advantage plan. So once we go through that and see the prescriptions, it's really down to breaking down the costs. And this lady was much about the Humana 5-star plan that we have here. So we get her on that. And then one of the things I also show, and one of my favorite companies to actually do it with is GTL, Guarantee Trust Life. And they have a great hospital indemnity policy that's really priced well. And I know it's different for state to state, but for our state, from 64.5 up to 68, it's actually a guaranteed issue product for the hospital indemnity. So protecting your clients from that hospital cost is, I think, a big thing with keeping people on Medicare Advantage. Even as the costs go lower and lower each year, especially in Memphis, we've got a lot of great plans that are especially coming into 2023. But anyway, that, and then the cancer lump sum for the out-of-pocket, protecting them fully that way. So I just, I really stress the going through of where I don't try to sell my clients anything, especially when they come in. It is purely me guiding them through the process. There's no point where it's you need to buy this, you need to buy that. It is just basically laying out all the facts and showing them exactly, what could happen, what could potentially happen. And then this would be the steps that we would need to take from there. So that's probably a lot longer than you were wanting, but that's really going through one of those calls.
Yeah. One thing you kind of, I want to echo, which I think is so important. You kept mentioning helping, guiding. You're not selling. And that's a huge point to make for people. Stop trying to sell it and start trying to help people. Start trying to love on people. The main thing in sales, you got to be good at selling. You can see from Trey, you carry on a very good conversation. You're easy to talk to. You're not pushy at all. I think those are all key elements of giving a great presentation. And let me ask you this, Trey. I'm sure you get objections. I'm sure you have that client that mails in a card, that's stubborn. Like you said, there's some that want to know the time or how the watch works. But I'm sure you have those people that don't want to know the time, don't want to make the time, but they need to know the time. Okay. And they give you an objection. They keep firing objections. Like, how do you handle objections?
Well, just talking about, I've even had objections from inbound calls. Funnily enough, they'll be the ones that call me and then ask for something, and then I'll get them information. There'll be an objection from there. But it is, I mean, it's definitely how you handle it. You never want to, especially with a senior, basically make them feel like they don't know what they're talking about, especially, telling them just immediately or interrupting them and telling them that they're wrong. Let them get their thought out. This is them being frustrated by the fact that 30 people are calling them a day. They're getting, 20 things in the mail at a time. They're frustrated. They don't know what's going on. So, going back to what you said, guiding them through that, but, being calm when you go through with objections, not immediately telling them that, hey, you know what, no, that's wrong information, letting them know that, okay, well, that may be, something a little incorrect that you've heard, some misinformation, to go through and do that. But an objection to, I've had people calling in and not believing, what the Humana Honor Plan can do. And actually, I got to give Eddie Velez credit for that. He's got actually a great website for veteran information for people that, you can actually, they gave me ideas to send people a few different things and kind of showing that, yes, you can have, a Medicare Advantage plan with your TRICARE, with your VA, whether it be one of those or Champ VA that can really help out veterans. Because a lot of the time it's hard to believe for them, considering they get over $1,000 a year back on their check, or they're going to, get free dental, vision, free hospital admission. So yeah, it really depends on the objection. But I will say that if it's a very strong objection to what I'm doing, I never will press forward too hard, because basically what you're going to do is you're going to get them on a plan, then they're going to disenroll, and that doesn't help anybody. It definitely doesn't. So if you have somebody with a major objection that's pushing back pretty hard, I would let them know the information, send that to them and let them know that they can call you with any questions that they have. And definitely don't push, because if you send them the information, you back off and let them know, and especially if they're going to take the time to look at it, you're going to have a much better client relationship than somebody that you force into a plan, and then they're either stuck in there or they're just going to go ahead and disenroll and you end up getting a charge back.
Well, very, very good point, Trey, because we don't want those, but it's amazing what you're doing. You don't have to be a pushy salesperson, but you are assertive. You are going to give them your best effort.
Oh yes.
You're not going to stop after the first no. You're going to keep trying. No. 6 times, right?
Yes. No. And I just meant when I meant that is somebody that is pretty strong. You kind of know what I mean. They're strongly against what you're trying to tell them, or they're not really listening, or because you want to make sure they understand the coverage that especially they're getting into. You don't want them calling and saying they don't know how they got into this plan or something like that, because that just leads to things that you don't want to get into.
And I think they'll respect you too. That gives you an opportunity to do what's called a walkout close, where that you leave it on good terms. And even Randy Stander was telling me he had one this week. The guy pulled him back into the house, because he's busy. He's like, I got a lot of people to see, and I gave you my best. And if it's not good enough, I wish you the better. You're the one that needs help. You're the one that held the card. I'm trying to help you, and and unfortunately, some people can be stubborn, but that gives you a good out to do the walkout close. And a lot of them will pull you back in.
Like drop the rope,
and
let them grab back onto it.
Yeah. Well, Trey, I know we're at the top of your time limit, but any final words to those that are in a rut, struggling, new, or just not getting it going, man? Because this is easy. It's so easy. That's why it shocks me, because I've done it myself. One of the very few IMOs that have been on the streets, been in call centers, made sales. It's so easy. It blows my mind, Trey, that others can't do what you're doing. What would your advice be to those people?
And before I said that, I had answered Michael's question, the amount of cancer benefit I generally write. Michael, what I would generally do, especially with the Humana the Gold Plus in our area, is actually a max out of pocket of $4,900. And since Medicare Advantage is going to cover percentage-wise just like original Medicare with chemotherapy at 20%, I'll generally try to do a lump sum at the minimum of the max out of pocket, so that way they're not going to be coming out of pocket any amount of money or have to come up with a couple $1,000s, especially if they're living, paycheck to paycheck. So that's what I would say on that. So generally it's around 5,000 is the minimum, because it's not very expensive to add on GTL, and that'll help them out big time.
Good. Thank you, Trey.
Yes,
awesome.
sir. And then to what you're saying, basically, with this business too, just like you said, getting into it, it's consistency. Getting up and going to work, and my dad, helped actually give me a great example. I'm very lucky to have him as a role model and to go through and to help me out, because, getting up and going to work is not something I ever didn't see with my dad, no matter what he did. So it's just, getting up, going and putting forth your best effort, going through and doing right by people. And it does sound, simple or cheesy, but it's very true, especially in this business. But if you're struggling, hang in there. Don't give up. It will click. Know as much about this business as you can, because there's a lot of people that do it, that really do give out incorrect information and don't, help people the way they should. And it's as simple as that. If you take 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes to ask a few questions to people, you will find something that somebody else missed. They may be diabetic and there's a C-SNP plan in your area that will help them out much better. They may actually have a form of Medicaid where you can get them onto a plan they didn't know about. In Memphis, Tennessee, the Aetna Medicare Value Plus, if you have any level of extra help and your prescriptions are covered, they're all free and they get a food card. That's like an in-between plan with our new laws on Medicaid in Tennessee. So it's just really listening to what they're doing, take notes, know about as many plans in the area as you can, and really just, be honest with your client. Nothing's going to be better than, even if you don't have a plan that's better than them. If you let them know, hey, you know what, you're in the best plan, that's going to carry forward. We had somebody in my office, actually one of my newer agents, where she was on the phone with somebody on inbound call, and the woman was on a Humana Gold Plus, and it was the best plan for her in the area. And she let her know that. And she said, okay, well, she said, I really appreciate that. I'll call you with anybody. She called her back 30 minutes later with her husband, who had United Healthcare, and saved him a ton of money on prescriptions, increased his benefits and everything, moving him over to Humana. So something as simple as letting somebody know, hey, you know what, you are on the best plan possible. Thanks for calling in, that comes back around. So, I would say do that and basically just, get up every single day and go to work. Don't just throw in the towel. Go until, December 7th, and then be ready for next year as well, because we have a lot of opportunities to enroll plans throughout the year with 5 stars, Medicaid, extra help.
Plus, Trey, I would like to add that too, even if they already have a great plan, like you said, you're in the best plan possible in your area. But by the way, there's an opportunity for hospital indemnity, cancer plan.
Very true.
So it's amazing how many people don't offer that. And it's right there. They're leaving business on the table. Many agents in these call centers don't go over hospital indemnity. So you gave a great point there earlier about the GTL plan and adding the rider for cancer and heart. That's awesome advice too. So Trey, I want to thank you, my friend. And guys, if you need anything, first of all, reach out to your upline, your BSRs. Trey, I know, is extremely busy. Trey, I want to thank you, my friend, for, you did this at the last minute for us. And I want to thank you for leading the way. You're number one nationally, 150 enrollments and counting, 309 your agent. How many agents you have on your team? Like 2 or 3 people?
So we have three people, two news, and then one who had been on last year, who had done a couple things at the beginning of this year and came back. So we have one person, and it's actually my mom, who I've got her on here, and I got her away from pest control in the car business, but she actually started in September, and she is the top one we have. So
you coaching up mom, huh?
Absolutely. Hey, that's the best retirement plan you can have is renewals.
Amen, man. Well, tell your mom, I love your mom and dad, by the way, and spent time with them on our trips. And I'm going to tell you, you come from good stock, man. You got great upbringing, a great family, and the good Lord has got his favor on you and your family's life. And we're just blessed to have you, Trey. Thank you so much, my friend.
I appreciate that, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you, man. So, Michael, we're going to continue on in the meeting. I pray to you guys, got what you needed. What did you, first of all, what did you guys think of Trey? You guys can open them. What did you guys think? Your thoughts, feedback, comments.
Excellent work ethic.
Yeah.
I like the family aspect, working together as family. I really like that a lot.
I love that too.
Yeah.
I think what I liked about Trey, what he was saying too, Tony, was he's intelligent about his approach to working in this field. You know, we have to be intelligent. We have to think through the processes and look at all the aspects of what we do. There's so much. Like when he was talking, can I share this real quick? I don't want to hog the mic.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
When he was saying, you know, when I'm making conversation and doing the assessments with people and just getting a feel for, you know, where they're at, and he finds a plan, let's say that they're already on, is the best plan, that he's letting them know that, look, you're already on the best plan. She's communicating that, look, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm just here to what's in your best interest, right? And as he was saying that, I just want to share what sparked into my mind was I'll also we'll sit with people and we'll talk and we'll look at their plans and we'll go over every aspect. And I will come up with, let's say the plan that they're on is very similar to what I could show them. The one little angle that I emphasize to them is, well, have you been using those benefits on that Humana plan? Have you used your dental? Well, no, I haven't. Have you used your over-the-counter? Well, I don't know how to use it. And so what I'll mine out of that conversation is, yes, they got enrolled maybe in the best plan, but the agent abandoned them and they haven't even utilized those dental benefits or those over-the-counter benefits or that they got their eyeglasses. So one angle that we can use too when we're in dealing with people is the benefit, not only in the plan, but the benefit in the customer services they get through an agent that's engaged with their health plan. And so I follow up every month with my clients, making sure that they're using and understand how to use those benefits. Because if you have a plan that is the best, but you're not utilizing the benefits, what good is it doing you?
Amen.
So
very good.
That's a very, very important angle to examine. Are you willing, able, and ready to give customer service to these seniors so that they're utilizing and they're implementing and they're putting into practice these healthcare plans? Because what good are they if they're not using the benefits?
Very good point. Thank you so much.
That's all I wanted to share.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was a very good point, because most agents are hit and run agents. They put them on a plan and forget them. And that's why they have poor persistency, no renewals, and they never really make it in this business. And that's why you guys can clean up on those type of agents. You should be building that into your presentation. You're not like those call center agents out there with the J.J. Walkers of the world and Joe Namaths and William Shatners. Or I'm going to be there for you through thick and thin. I want to make sure you're using your benefits. Are you using them? If you're not using them, like you said, what's the good in having the plan if you're not using it? It's like having a new car and you don't drive it. What's the use of having it? Now, and you're paying for it. You know, so, you know, that's a good point. Anyone else real quick before we move on to the next part of the meeting?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
The biggest thing that I see in that a young man's success is the mentorship that he had from his father.
Yes.
So if you can get a good mentor that gives you hands-on and directions and support, it catapults your activity. That's my biggest takeaway. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Appreciate that. Good feedback. Thank you. Anyone else real quick? You know, I'm going to tell you this, and the gentleman that just spoken on who that is, the power of family in this business. If it wasn't for Kathy and my kids in the early days, the kids used to help me out, and my wife, definitely Kathy, helped us out and still does to this day. You've got to incorporate your spouse into the business. If you look at the Matthews family, they're doing it. The Eric Allen and his family, you know, John Gordine and his family, you know, everyone that's in this business, their spouses and their children play a part in a role in helping them build their business. It's a family business, really. Now, your spouse could be doing something else, a teacher, or, you know, they're a doctor or a lawyer, but, you know, it's good to have that support, and they can help you build the business together, because ultimately they're going to benefit from those renewals for years to come as well. So that's a good point. Anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, this is Eddie in Florida. I just want to say that the thing that sticks out is the humility and the integrity. And when somebody can see that, hey, they can trust you and that you do have their best interest at heart, that's a person who's not going to want to lose you. and they're going to open up to you. And I think that's a big secret sauce that he just inherently has.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has a lot in common, if you notice, with Derek as well from last week, and Josh Shin. These young guys, very humble young men, men of God. I think that's important, that resonates with the people. Never heard any of those guys curse. I talk to those three all the time, and it just blows my. They don't use foul language. They're very well spoken. You can tell they were all raised correctly, and it's just nice to see that. And I'm like, if I'm a senior, if I'm a 7-year-old, and I got a 24-year-old or 25-year-old like Trey in my house, or Derek or Josh, it's like a lot of people get caught up. Well, age matters. Age doesn't matter in this business. If you're a good person with a good heart and you're doing it for the right reason, you're good at selling yourself, and you just want to change people's lives, you'll have more than enough customers. You won't know what to do with all of them. They'll be begging to do business with you. Like in Trey's case, they come to his office. They don't want it now. They come to his office. They don't wait for him to come to the house. They come to his office in his town. So, and that's special when you put your name out there and people know you as a person in this business trying to do good and do right by people. That's how you build a referral base. He didn't touch on that, but he gets a lot of business through referrals because he treats his customers so well. He loves on them. He don't just hit and run. He follows up with them, make sure, are you using the plan? And then you'll get 10, 15 referrals from every single client because you're doing right by them, because they're used to agents not doing right by them. It's sad what this industry's turned into, that there's just agents out there in it for totally the wrong reason. And if you can be different than them, you can change the world. You can own the industry. You can own your market like Trey, Josh, and Derek are doing. So awesome stuff.